Hi and welcome, I'm DIY Mike, and today I'm going to show you how to make an audio interconnect. We're going to make a pair of them for an audio application, stereo, 2-channel setup, whether you're going to use it between your CD player and your amplifier, or any other components that you might be hooking up. I'm going to go over some of the tools and some of the materials and show you some of the basic assembly. For the more detailed stuff, look on my website. I'm gonna step by step everything so you can see exactly what I did. But some of the stuff we're gonna need today, we need a pair of wire strippers and wire cutters. Most of them are combinations, so that's gonna kill both those tasks with that one tool. I'm gonna use some 2% silver solder. This is available on Parts Express. It's inexpensive. It sounds great. It's got silver in it, so it makes really good audio applications. Regular razor blade, single-sided razor blade, just to cut back some of the sheathing on the wire that we're going to use. We're going to need a soldering iron, of course, and when it comes down to materials, very simple. A set of 4 Nutric connectors, RCA connectors. These are gold-plated. They're just over $1 a piece. I bought these on Parts Express. You can buy them anywhere, though. They're available on Mouser and a bunch of other companies that are out there. So we've got 4 of these because we're going to need 2 for each cable, and as I said, we're making a stereo pair. So next up, we're going to need some wire. For this application, I'm using an 18 gauge in-wall speaker wire, but it makes a great audio interconnect as well. This particular wire is already shielded. It's got a drain wire inside, so it's going to make very quick work out of this in terms of assembly. So when we get down to some of the cosmetic stuff, I'm going to use a propane torch. This is going to help us shrink our shrink tube and kind of finish the whole thing off. So we've got some shrink tube here on a roll, as well as some nylon braided sheathing, which is just going to finish this whole thing off, make it look great. So let's get down to it. I'm going to go over some of the steps, and as I said, check out the website because I'm going to have more detailed explanation there. So let's have some fun. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out our cable. I've got marks on my workbench here at 1 meter. So I'm just going to take this wire and cut it. And we're going to make another one exactly like that, so that we've got a matched pair of 1 meter cables. Okay, so we stripped all our wire. As you can see on each end, I've stripped back all the insulation, left one drain wire on one side. So you can see on the other side, just the 2 connections. We're only going to connect the drain wire to the connector, to the negative side of the connector on one side. That's going to prevent any ground loop. We don't want any hum or hiss in our cables. So I'm just going to take my soldering iron, a little bit of that solder that we've got. I'm going to do the positive first. It just makes it a little bit easier. All right. Hopefully you can see the solder and how it flowed across the cup, and also the negative. You can see I bent it back 180 degrees and folded it down along the negative bottom strip and soldered that really well. And you can kind of see how the solder flowed across that. All right. So we've got all 4 of our connectors connected up to our 2 wires here. So we've got both matching sets ready to go. Next step, take a pair of needle nose or a pair of pliers or something and just bend over these strain relief tabs to secure the wire and make sure that it can't get pulled out if you had some strain on the wire itself. So just kind of bend those over and do that on all 4 of them. Bring up your little plastic shield and then screw on your outside connector here. Alright, get the threads on and just kind of screw that up nice and tight. So that's it for the connection. We're going to go ahead and do that on the other 3 remaining connectors, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, our next step, we're going to put on the nylon braided sheathing just to kind of dress it up a little bit. It's purely cosmetic, but it'll certainly make it look like a finished product. So we've got both of our cables connected up. We've tightened up our connectors so they're ready to go. And I'm going to use a very small braided sheathing. This cable is not very thick, so although the connectors are much larger, this will kind of hug the cable a little bit better and just kind of make it look a little more finished off. You can use whatever size braided sheathing you have. As you can see, I put a little piece of tape over this connector. It's just going to make it easier to thread that sheathing right over the top of that. And as you can see, I'm just going to slide the sheathing right down this cable, and just kind of feed it all the way down until we get almost to the very end of the wire to the next connector. And once we get down to the next connector, or very close to it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this braided sheathing, slip one of these pieces of shrink tube right over the connector, and I'm going to leave about half of the connector barrel showing, and we'll go ahead and start applying a little bit of heat. And that flame's not quite enough for us, so we'll get some heat going, and you're going to go ahead and see this this shrink tube just shrink up on us. Now this is the best part, folks. These cables are absolutely amazing. They sound great. Make a pair for yourself. Enjoy them. I wish you could be here with me, giving them a listen, but they sound absolutely amazing.